Hi friends and relatives, Mrs.Joanne here. Now the other day, instead of a read-along, I did an explore-along. And I went down to the creek. And I took a walk around and I showed you guys some of the stuff that was in the creek and around the creek. And the tracks from the deer and some of the plants. Now at the end I asked you, I was standing by a tree and it had a really cool bark on it. And I gave you a hint. I said, it has pine needles. So what kind of tree do you think that was? Yes, it was a pine tree. Now there's different pine trees around, and I got two little pine cones that I collected from the pine trees. There's different kinds of pine trees. And then I also showed you some gumballs from the gum tree. These are prickly. Remember I said they're sticky? And then I found this really pretty flower. It's a bud from the tree. And it's a tulip poplar tree. And see how the flower, it becomes a bud and it flowers? And that's this. And it has on each side 1, 2, 3, 4 points on that side of the leaf. 1, 2, 3, 4 points on this side of the leaf. And then I was looking through the rocks. If you remember, I was looking through the rocks. And I just brought this little one home because it's very pretty color. It's pink. Can you see how pink that is? It's very, very like a pinkish rosy, rosy quartz. That's what I think it is. So isn't that a pretty color? And then when we were down there, I showed you the soccer ball that was stuck on the tree in the middle of the creek. And I said when it floods, a lot of stuff comes down in the water. You never know what you're going to find. Well, not only was that soccer ball sitting there on that tree, just stuck there, I found this too. I found baseball. And it's kind of waterlogged, but that was one of the other things that I found. And you know, you never know what kind of garbage comes down because the water collects the garbage that's just thrown on the side of the road and it goes through the drains and then it goes into the creek. So then it just keeps floating down. So that's why we go and clean out the creek as much as we possibly can. Now today's book is called The Bug Hotel. And it is a Clover Robin book of nature. And it's also a Lift the Flap book of discovery. Let's find out what that means. But I want to show you. What is it shaped like? Yeah, it's shaped like a house. And you know, where people live and where animals live, their home or their habitat. So this is the bug book. And it's going to show you ways to make homemade habitats for bugs and creepy crawly things. And we can actually have different ideas from this book of how to make a little bug hotel, or you can come up with different ideas yourself. Now, here it is. The first bug hotel I want to show you right here. And it's what? Bees. B-E-E, the bee. And bees are very important. They are very important to us. They carry pollen from flower to flower, which helps more plants to grow. The process is called, you ready for this word? Some of you know it already. Pollination. Pollination. And without it, our flowers, plants, and food supply would suffer. Now see how this little bee lands on this flower and it gets the nectar on its little feet and its little nose area where it sucks the nectar out. It's kind of like really special juice for the bees. And then it will go to this flower and it will bring all the stuff that's stuck on its feet. It brings it to this flower. And that it's called pollination, and that makes other plants and flowers grow. Now, this is a Lift the Flap book. let's lift the flap. And what do we discover? The hollows in bamboo canes are an ideal place for solitary bees, bumblebees, and wasps to make their nest, lay eggs, and escape bad weather. Female solitary bees create tiny cells for their eggs within the bamboo cane. They can lay up to 30 eggs in a lifetime. Now, this is what it looks like. See, it has all these little tubey-like things, and that's where the bees lay their eggs. Isn't that neat? Now, let's see what kind of bees we have here. This one is a solitary bee. Usually, they work and live all alone, which is why they are called solitary bees. Solitary means all alone, all by themselves. Now this, look at the picture. This bee is bigger. See that? That's bigger. Bumblebees, bumblebees are very easy to spot. They are larger than honeybees and look a lot fluffier. That's a bumblebee. Just like bee, bumblebee. Now this one right here is different looking. Can you see that? Yeah, that is a wasp. And wasps may look like bees, but they are different. They have a pointed body and a very narrow waist. You see that picture? It's different. It's different than this guy, right? See, they're all three. These are three different kinds of bees. Now over here in this picture is a bumblebee hotel. Part of it is. Can you see that? Now, you know how they said they have different little tubes, or if you can make it out of bamboo cane, different little tubes for the bees to live in? Well, I have 2 bumblebee hotels. I'm going to show you mine. This one is a bumblebee hotel, and it's made like a little house, right? It's got a little hook, and you can hang it. I hung mine on my house next to my garage, my other one. Now look at the little tubes that they were talking about. They're hollow. And what happens is the little bees go in there, and that is where they make their nests and lay their little eggs for the baby bees to come out. And it protects them. It protects them from the rain. It protects them from the wind, and they get to keep them inside there. Now, my other one that I hung up actually has bees in it. So I have a picture. I took a picture. I didn't want to go over and bother them right now, but I took a picture for you, and I'm going to just stop for a second, and then I'll come back and show you the picture of the bee inside one of these little tubes, okay? Now here we go. This, can you see the bee right here? That's the bee that's made its little nest inside one of the tubes. And this is early on when I had just put it up. So we have a lot more bees that are living in that bumblebee hotel in the little tubes. Isn't that neat? So I'm hoping that we fill it all up this spring and this summer. And we're going to put this one up. I don't know where I want to put this one yet. I was even thinking maybe putting this one next to the other one. But they are so cool. And it's something that you guys could maybe even make something like this with a cardboard box and put some little tubes if you have any little plastic straws, or you can even pretend that you make one. I don't know if the plastic straws will be a good thing if you put it outside somewhere that the bees might go in, but it's something to try. It's something to do. You could take a little box, a tissue box, and put some plastic straws, maybe glue them around, or maybe the glue won't be good. You know, the glue might not be good for the bees. And if you put it in the sun, it could probably melt. But you could make something like this and pretend. You could pretend or even just try to put something out and see what happens. But this is my bumblebee hotel. And I'm hoping this one will get filled up too. So I'll do a part in helping pollination of the plants around my house, because the bees will live there and they'll go out and they'll fly to my flowers and hopefully pollinate the plants. So I'm not going to read the rest of this book today. I just wanted to show you about the bees and show you my bucket from when we went on the exploration and what I had picked up. And I am glad some of you knew that that was a pine tree that I said it had pine needles. And so I'll read that rest of the bug hotel tomorrow, because there are some really cool things about different bugs and where they live. So you have a nice day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Love you.